The purpose of this recording is to provide guidelines and instructions for school-based studies. This recording is specifically for Bachelor of Education Secondary, Bachelor of Education Pre and Junior Primary, and Bachelor of Education Senior Primary Year 3 students. All Year 3 Bachelor of Education Secondary, Pre and Junior, and Senior Primary students are required to go for SBS for 4 weeks. Please note that the numbering of the documents was done with other SBS documents needed for other qualifications. This might mean that you will observe that there is no sequential order for the numbers. The first one is the letter to the schools. Now, the letter to the school serves to seek permission from the school to conduct SBS. Students should remember to attach a copy of your ID or passport and a student card to the letter to the school. This letter to the school should be submitted to the principal prior to the SBS. The letter to the employer are for the students that are employed. The purpose of this letter is to seek for study leave for SBS purposes. Form 2 is the SBS Confirmation letter. This is a form that students need to give to the respective school principals where they will conduct the SBS. The principal should sign and confirm that the student conducted SBS at that school. It is very important to note that whenever the school principal or the mentor teacher must complete a form or a document for the student, that they should also stamp the document or the form with the school stamp. Form 3A, the Student Teacher Daily Lesson Plan. This is the IUM lesson plan template that students should use to plan their teaching lessons. Students are required to make enough copies of this form. Also, the lesson plan can be typed or it can be handwritten. Form 4A, Student Teacher Confidential Report. This form should be completed and signed by the school principal at the end of SBS based on the conduct of the student during the SBS period. Once it is completed, it should be sealed in an envelope and the envelope must be stamped on the sealed part. And the student should bring it to the university. Please note that this confidential report should not be opened by the student and should be submitted in its sealed format to the university. Form 5A, Classroom Observation Log Sheet. This is a form that students need to use to record all the lessons they have observed during their SBS. Form 5B, Teaching Log Sheet. This is a form that students need to complete for all the lessons they have taught during SBS. Form 6A, Teaching Observation or Lesson Evaluation Form. This is a form that must be used by the mentor teacher and the lecturer to assess the student's teaching practice. The student must make sure that they have enough copies of this form to provide the mentor teacher with this form. Form 7C, Student Teaching Reflective Journal Guidelines. This document should be compiled by every student, reflecting on his or her observation and teaching practice. The journal should have an introduction, content, and conclusion. It should be chronologically aligned with the Reflective Journal Marking Rubric. It must be typed, font type Arial or Times New Roman, font size 12, and the spacing should be 1.5. The Marking Rubric 1A. This document will be used by the lecturers to assess the reflective journal. Some additional information on SBS. Letters to the employer and the school are available from the SBS coordinator. Third-year students should be in schools for 4 weeks. 2 weeks for observation and 2 weeks for teaching. During SBS, students are expected to be at school full-time. You need to adhere to the school rules and fully participate in school activities, including extramural activities, under the supervision of the mentor teacher and the school principal. Remember, you need to know how to interact with your students, not only in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. All the students that are doing Bachelor of Education in senior primary and secondary must do their SBS at the school which is offering their school major subjects. SBS is an independent full module. Thus, every student must be at school to experience a real pedagogical classroom situation as per this qualification requirements. This means that absence from SBS is an automatic failure of the module. Missing one session of SBS will automatically result in extending the completion of the qualification. Students who wish to postpone their SBS must be aware of the implications. Please note, a full SBS module fee for postponing the SBS will be charged. All correspondence regarding SBS must be directed to the SBS coordinator. Students going for SBS have a choice to choose a school where they should conduct their SBS because IUM is not liable for any field incentives to cater for students' living allowances while the students are in the field for SBS. Students on SBS have to comply with the conduct of teachers in Namibia, and IUM will not interfere with the host school's rules and regulations. At the end of the SBS coordinator will facilitate the submission of all SBS materials to the university within 1 week upon the student's arrival from the SBS. Please adhere to the submission due dates. Thank you.